Hello everyone and welcome to The Lost Mine, a customized D&D 5th edition game played on Roll20, and yes, there is a part 2. When we last left our heroes, their party was split inside Cragmaw Hideout, with Ark and Loris being not so figuratively fed to the wolves, whilst Rack was dropped by Goblin Arrow. Kit Tor was the only conscious party member standing, eventually surrendering to the Goblin leader Ymik, who threatened not only their lives, but that of a yet unknown human captive as well. Being the last one standing, Kit was taken to see the big boss, as they called it, and the rest of the party were chained up where the wolves formerly lay. Kit, you and the defeated human are led deeper into the caves, beyond the overpass, and eastward as it goes. A waterfall sounds out from a larger cavern ahead of you. The next area is a twin-pooled cave. This cavern is half filled with two large pools of water, fed by a narrow waterfall, and low fieldstones serve as dams holding the water, and it's here where you surmise the dams control the water, which rushed in and attacked you as a waterfall from the lookout from the bridge. The two pools were released, most likely to cause the floods and produce them. In fact, you can see two goblins cleaning up said watchman from the bridge, in fact kicking the body as they do so. "Again, and again," he said. They chuckled to themselves as they dragged the body away, which I believe you dispatched. But the sound of the waterfall here makes it difficult to hear back. Rising up beyond this is a further cave. Ymik hurries over to you, grinning as he does so, and you are thrown next to a large coal smouldering fire in the center of the room. Stacks and crates of looted provisions are piled up in and around the end of this large cave, and to the west an opening leads to darkness, from which you hear a snarl of an angry wolf that chases Ymik from you, who grasps the human and speaks to the dark abyss. "Easy, Ripper. I come for Clark. Look, boss, look what Ymik find. Nasty, stupid creatures kill your pets, they do, and burn Ymik's face. But Ymik knows they come for human. No human no talk, but they will instead." From the shadows, a guttural voice responds as a huge goblin-like creature covered in hair and scraps of armor clenches a most likely stolen morning star that bears the symbol of Heronius on it from your payload. It gnashes its teeth and steps forward. "Our time in the shadows is over. The Black Spider promised we shall rise up and take back the outside world. No longer shall we hide in caves and fight for scraps. Starts now." Bears his eyes directly to you, Kit. "You will tell me. Tell me what the dwarfs know. Where the Dark Elves, Yerf and Valak want them. You will tell. I will kill this weak human. And then your friends, one by one after another, until you talk. You will talk. You will talk, or you will die."
It's a bit awkward because, see, the thing is, I kind of don't want to die, but at the same time, I don't actually know anything. Like, genuinely don't.
Sildar looks very agitated by this whole event, and it looks like he's ready to spill the beans. But for the rest of you, you are currently stable at 1 hit point and are conscious. Although you are bound by the wolf chains in this chamber, you can make out faint and disturbing noises from the kennel fissure. But the outlook seems bleak. And just when you thought to be lost, that is where you have Lucas. I'd like to introduce our special guest for this game. He is the incomparable, the incredible, the man they call Josh, who will be playing Lucas, a bard, for this game. Lucas, you and your fellow survivors from the Caves of Chaos, Edok the Fighter and Kieran the Madman, join Stephen Blaze of the Lord's Alliance in journeying to Phandalin, which served you well as you have a Black Network contact currently situated there. As your allies licked their wounds and prepared to depart once more on a mission to Greenrest, you, given your intuitive and wily nature, and being fit to do so, have been called upon once more to action. 2 investigators sent by Blaze to discern the whereabouts of the arriving and now missing Gundam Rockseeker have themselves not returned in what should have been a quick scout there and back to the Trebor Trail. It has been several hours without contact, which in itself might not be cause for concern if not a scheduled weapon supply for your party had not turned up when expected. This, coupled with a further disappearance of a Lord's Alliance noble in the town, has become serious cause for concern. Given your particular set of skills, namely in a more subtle and calculated approach, they trust you can avoid the same fate and return with the Half-Orc Shadow Mage and Vying Lord's Alliance Cloak Rack and Loris from the Order of the Gauntlet, who have been working closely together. Although your dispatch could have something also to do with your persistent and somewhat ridiculous claims of somehow being a dragon, for anyone that would listen. The ambush site you turned to is a mess, and the goblin that fled, and least of all the adventurers, did not cover their tracks to the Cragmaw Hideout, so getting here was the easy part. When you arrive, you are shocked and a little perplexed to spot no guards. In fact, on the outside of the cave, all you see is a squirrel, which hurries inside the cave itself. Curiously, the squirrel leaps past 2 guards outside the kennel, who are inexplicably asleep. In fact, one of them is slumped against the cave wall. They topple and clatter to the floor and still do not wake. It then produces a small sack, which it lays by the feet of the prisoners. It nibbles on an acorn and then dutifully scurries off in a hurry as Lucas approaches.
Right, yeah. I would like to stealthily approach the cave entrance.
Go for it. Make me a stealth roll. In a trained fashion, you go low to the ground and you make your approach at half speed cautiously.
I will continue this pace. Do I see this guard asleep now from the
You
cave
see
entrance?
2 goblins asleep by what looks to be a small opening to the right-hand side. The rest of you, Ark, Loris, and Rack, are currently conscious but restrained. You can see the goblins from your location. They are seemingly asleep.
Well, now, that is very curious. Let's keep this quiet. I'll head forward.
Not a problem. You get into an area where the waterfall leads northward. Eventually you will come in direct contact to the kennel, where you can see, notably your charge, and one other curious construct there as well.
As I head forward, I'm going to stop where the 2 guards are.
Yes.
Can I decant their weapons into the nearby river? Just
It's
carefully
not a
loading them.
problem. They seem to be in a deep slumber, potentially unnatural. Regardless of how hefty you are with them, nothing seems to occur.
How strange. They must have met my previous party to be this bored. I'm gonna walk into the room to have a quick look around.
So,
I don't see any other guards.
Rack, Loris, and Ark, you may make perception checks.
Okay, I would like to just say, as I presumably rouse, I'll just say, either I got very drunk, or I got my ass kicked. I'll make that perception check.
To all sort of outward appearance, Ark still seems to be offline.
Alright, Lucas, for yourself, as long as you go behind the stalagmite, you are out of sight, so you can quickly get behind there. If you
Rolls
are
like
to...
that. Rolls like that are why I built this character.
Yeah, you yourself, Loris, have particularly taken a turn from the beating you received, practically being torn apart by the wolves, and you're concentrating on getting back up, even though you're held down, and the blood on your hands.
So can I see down through that passageway to the nearby room with the, should we say, more rambunctious people?
No, that is actually a fissure.
Good to know. In which case, I noticed that Rack is there, right?
Indeed. You can see what seems to be... You've heard of warforges, but you've never encountered one. They're extremely rare.
I assume that's just a suit of armor that someone's left on the floor.
It could well be. There is the dwarf and the half-orc that you were sent to search for there. It's almost too easy. They're right here for you.
It is too easy. I'd like to do a quick look around, make sure there's no traps been set up in this area.
No problem.
What role would you like there, buddy?
That would be an investigation, but if you were to do so, you would drop stealth. There's nowhere to hide from the rest of the party.
I see, I'm not trying to hide from the party, and I think I'm stealthy enough not to wake people behind me, so I'll do an investigation check.
Go for it.
Safe as houses.
Essentially, you're searching around where you do reveal yourself emerging from the stalagmite. But the curiosity of this construct takes you aback, and you can't concentrate on anything else.
The hammered above, that thing has eyes, that's not armor.
It's at this point, now that he's out of stealth, I'll say, yes, hello, you don't appear to be a goblin.
Not when I last checked.
You ain't working with him, are you?
Do you think you'd be breathing if I was? Trust me, I've been sent here to find Rack, is it? And Loris?
I'm Rack.
And I would be Loris. Sorry, quite rattled right now.
That's fine. I trust I don't need to introduce myself. Must have heard of me, obviously. I've been sent by Stephen Blaze to ascertain what sort of mess you've gotten into, and judging by your beaten and bloody raw state. Trouble? Goblins, was it?
Yeah, there's lots of them.
I had a trap further up.
Very well, I'm gonna head. Are they tied? Are they bound by anything?
They are bound by the chains that formerly kept the wolves here before they were dispatched. It was a particularly bad investigation roll, but it is impossible to miss because it was placed very deliberately. There is a sack of beans on the ground directly in front of the prisoners.
Okay. Do you know where the... Are there locks on these chains, or is it more they've just been sort of hog-tied in a way?
They've been bound, almost collar-bound, by these chains. They themselves are dug into the stalagmite.
And at the end of the collar, is there a mechanism that I could potentially try to...
It's pretty much like a dog's collar, but it is locked.
Okay. Tell me, I know there was a few more people on the caravan from Darkadia. Where are they? I hope they're not deceased.
There was a cat man thing.
I'll look at him as if he's taken a severe blow to the head.
It had a tail and everything.
Very well. 1 second. I'm going to walk over to Loris, and I'm going to try to pick the lock on his collar.
Not a problem. Give me a lockpicking check. That would be a dexterity plus proficiency if you're proficient in thieves' tools, which I believe you are.
You know.
However, it's such a crude mechanism that you're stumbling along it. Your gaze is still somewhat distracted by the large metal man and whatever was going on with the squirrel, who seems to have also piled a small deposit of acorns in the corner as well.
Is the squirrel still here, or is it gone?
The squirrel has vanished. Seemingly vanished, by the way. Not as if it scurried away out of your sight, but just completely disappeared.
Is it possible to attempt to break out of the collar?
You can indeed attempt it. Oh my goodness. We're starting off strong today.
Oh man, is
I
there
got
a
my
part 2
hand
MVL
stuck.
really?
Pretty much,
Crack.
your
Calm
tactic was to run towards the entrance, the force of which would break the chain you were certain of, except it pulls back on your chain, flinging you into the air and down upon the ground, in a most undignified fashion.
Perhaps we can keep it down a little bit.
You can hear
And
very
head over to
muffled...
those sleeping goblins.
You can hear very muffled words from the fissure. And the rest of you know that a goblin did jump down from there when they attacked you previously, but it's unlikely anyone of regular size could make its way through. It's more... There's actually garbage down there as well, as if they chuck things from that location downwards. The
I'm
goblins
gonna head over and
themselves
just check these 2 goblins, see if they've got any keys for this.
have not moved. You can give me an investigation check.
Anything special about these acorns if we pick them up and look at them?
The acorns themselves, that is just enough to locate a set of keys that was underneath some of the rags on the goblin, pretty much tucked away into their possession. The acorns themselves seem almost a novel snacking, but the bag of beans actually seems to be in a somewhat decorative bag itself, which has stitching around it in a green fashion and a decorative rim to it as well. The bag of magic beans is in your journal as well, at the top.
I'll head up to Rack first to stop him from severing his neck with his suit.
Not a
Try
problem.
the keys until I find.
It's pretty elementary. There is only one key for each of the locks. They weren't too sophisticated in their locking mechanisms.
Beautiful. I'll free all of them except for the giant metal monolith that I have no idea what it is.
Not a problem. You remove the padlocks from around their necks, and eventually that allows the clasp to come loose, and they are freed.
What is that?
Ark! I think he said his name was.
I'll sort of rubbing my neck, stand up. Oh, not my most dignified venture. As for him, he's been. I'll be honest. I'm not entirely sure where he comes from, what his duty is, but he's been helping us.
Very well. Right. Were there more of you?
What? One other.
What about Gundren?
No sign of him. I'm afraid. I believe. MVL, remind me. We ran into the remains of his caravan last session, right?
Yeah, there were black arrows in place. There were signs of a struggle and an empty map case.
Okay. I'll say, as it happens, we were sent to find him, and we found what we believed to be the wreckage of his convoy on the road. look to be ambushed, if not by these goblins, then by someone.
Interesting. Right, I will free Ark, because they vouched for him.
Not a problem. As yet unmoving, it would seem.
So as the collar is removed from Ark, he powers up, sits bolt upright, Undertaker style, and pulls a fang out from what would be his neck.
Power rerouted. Beginning systems check. Critical damage sustained. Synthetic vocal processor severely damaged. Apprehension detective failed. Updating directives. New primary directive. Destroy all goblins with extreme prejudice. Goblins are to be terminated.
And with that, a gun barrel slides out from his forearm.
Nice.
As it slides from him,
Wow.
there's a soft exhalation of surprise as Lucas steps the hell back away from that.
Said gun barrel is also in the journal at the top of it. And yes, I did use an image from a Cyberman's arm blaster.
I'll approach that later. You all look like living hell. Do you need some healing?
Yes, please. I've had a long day. We've all had a long day.
So
I think
Rack,
curiosity will make him look at those beans as well.
yeah, Rack and Lucas. So Rack had it, and Lucas, either of you can make an Arcana check.
I'm actually good at those.
Me, not so much.
Yes, I'm okay.
15.
Alright, you believe, funnily enough, you've heard of this. Look, examining the bag, in Fables, that this is a bag of magic beans. There are 4 magic beans in the bag. Each will restore 2d8 plus 4 hit points when consumed.
What is it? What are they? Just some pretty little beans?
A bit more than that. I think I've heard of this. I've heard of this phenomenon before, but I've heard of this phenomenon before of enchanted beans. But these seem to be a bit more purpose-built to our situation. I believe they'll heal us.
Zenzu beans.
Oh god.
If that's the case, dig in.
You don't need to ask me twice, and I'll have a bean.
No problem,
Even
2d8
though-
plus
Even though
4,
Ark doesn't need to eat, he will take one anyway.
Yeah,
not
chop that
a
down.
problem.
That's me back.
There is one left after the fact.
The goblins here, then. Bad, I assume?
The worst.
Finish off these 2 guards outside the caves, lest they wake up. I don't know why they're sleeping, but...
That is odd, as is the fact that this bag was here. In any case, it's dirty business. It's dirty business, but you have a point.
It's easy enough to dispatch the guards, seeing as they are currently unconscious. There's definitely sounds coming from what would be directly to your right, but upward. So with the way that the cave is constructed, you can easily surmise that would be following the waterfall up.
So, shall we get out of here, or do you have more business here?
I'd quite like to find a remaining companion. I believe they must have taken him further in if he's not here with us.
This is the cat, yes?
Correct.
Very well. None of you have seen any survivors from the wagon. There was an escort, Stilda, I think it was. Stephen said something like that.
Nothing so far.
Rack, you saw them in the Goblin Den, which was to the left of your current location.
Yeah, a goblin had one. I don't know if it's still alive. He was gonna kill it.
Well, as much as I like to hurry, we should carefully try to move around these caves. I hear goblins are fond of little ambushes.
I'll glance at myself and say, in that regard, friend, given the ease you got in here, it might be wise for you to take point on this.
Honestly, I literally walked up a slope. It wasn't particularly dangerous or trying. But I look over them. You are probably correct. Follow me. I'll stealthily head around the corner and head northward.
Not a problem. Make me a stealth roll. Anyone that is stealthing. Or is Lucas going ahead?
Given Ark's physical, he will just be last because he's no hope of going stealthily anywhere.
I will make an attempt to be stealthy, but I'll be hanging back with Ark because clank clunk.
Yeah, try and be quiet as I can.
All right.
Also a 9.
Lucas, you make your way to pretty much the intersection where you can see 2 goblins atop a bridge ahead of you. They were tending to a dead body that was around that area. However, when Loris and Rack emerge from around the kennel, unfortunately, they seem to stumble and knock one of the goblin bodies into the water. Splash! The goblins take note of it and quickly dart to the other side.
Lucas takes a step backwards, draws a slow breath. So, sorry. The whole me scouting ahead thing, you realise that implies that I go ahead without you.
It's boring in a cave.
It looked very boring when you were strung up with those collars on, and, well, maybe I'm incorrect, but probably best not to return to that life of goblinoid servitude, you know? Let's be a little bit stealthy. There's 2 up on the bridge up ahead, but chances are if they're even semi-intelligent, which I don't think goblins are really, let's face it, they'd probably run to warn other people. So,
It is but a moment.
Continue on.
It is but a moment later in the lair of Clark, where they are debating their options. Which one should I kill first? Perhaps I'll melt down the metal man and make myself a suit of armor. At that point, a goblin heads up the stairs and makes a hand gesture. What? Intruders? You picked a fine cave to die in. At which point, I'd like you to roll your initiatives.
Oh lord, I'm still tied up. Okay.
Alright, we are into initiatives with, funnily enough, Kittor rolling a natural 20 on the top of the order. So, Kittor, it is your action.
Okay, so to sum up, my hands are tied and I have no weapons.
Yeah, your weapon is currently beside Yimik, who is still ever so slightly acid burnt from a previous attack.
Right. When you say beside it, does it mean he's dropped it to the ground, or is he...
He has it on his hip. He was dealt damage previously, so he's still quite beaten and bruised from the experience. So he's keeping your weapon on him.
I own 2 things. I'm trying to decide which is the better one to go for.
You're currently surrounded, to be fair. You know that there are 2 goblins beside you, The larger goblin eunuch, who is most likely the boss of the goblins, is beside the human. There's a large wolf that was given the name Ripper, and Clark, who appears to be a bugbear, a large goblinoid creature, and the big boss as was described.
Right. Okay. So.
Also,
You
the
have to
fate of your friends is also unknown.
Yeah. So it's not. Okay. So probably trying to grab the dagger is a bad idea. So, what have I got to lose? It's just this kid is gonna go. Oh, intruders, is it? Hey, if you want, I can help you out with combat a bit. I was about to say I worked with goblins before, but it's more like they made me work for them. So if you want, yeah, I can then help you fight. I'm kind of good. I mean, you can ask your guy on the bridge. Oh, maybe the old guy on the bridge.
Clark beams down upon you. You can make a persuasion roll if you wish at disadvantage.
I figured it's going to be a hard sell. Okay, so.
What are the chances for 2 nat 20s?
Very low.
Oh, that would have been so good.
No. All you shall do is talk. They will die. That's your action. Rack, you are up.
I'm gonna head on down the cave a bit.
Not a problem. It veers around to the side. After a short way, you pass under the bridge where you know the goblins were. Beyond, you can see what is most likely what fed the waterfall. 2 dams that feed the waterfall. They're currently empty, but they were both used to assault you earlier. But you're free from that at this time. You do know the goblins are aware of your presence.
I don't necessarily know that other part of the tunnel to the left leads to the bridge, do I? Because I didn't go that way, did I?
So from yourself, you know that left behind you leads to the goblin den. Where you're at, there's a bridge ahead of you. The bridge definitely goes 2 ways, but it's above you. So where you're at, it currently goes dead on forward.
We're trying to follow the goblins, so I guess we go to the left and try and see if it leads up to the bridge.
You can do. That would be behind where you are, though. Yeah.
That'll be my turn, since I can't. I suppose I could dash, can I?
You could indeed. Dashing out into the darkness and unknown. You get around the side, you can see evidence of your previous handiwork, where there's a dead goblin, and the way leads around to the right, where you suspect the bridge may be. Lucas, it's your action.
So, my new party members, have they all got weapons that I can see?
They do. Their weapons were pretty much in a sack next to their bindings. I assume you've all picked them up.
Yeah, and I also would have picked up my arcane focus, because that's literally the most important thing I own.
They were very overconfident. They didn't expect whatever happened to have happened.
No one expects the Lucasation. I will follow up, stop behind Rack, and just lean forward. Do you see anyone?
Only the goblins I got dead before.
How many did you see before? I've counted, 3 now, including these.
Less than my fingers.
How many fingers does he have, just in case he's lost some?
He has all of his digits currently. Although he is stained with blood, possibly not his own.
Okay. I would assume I know enough about goblins now. They've probably got a good sense of smell, so I'm going to use prestidigitation to clean some of his blood.
Not a problem.
Just because there's nothing else I can do.
With that,
and I will just finish my movement up there.
Ark and Loris had the same score and rolled off. Ark is above. What would you like to do, Ark?
Ark wouldn't be aware that there was only 2 dams feeding that river, so he's going to approach that with extreme caution and probably just follow Lucas and Rack, because at least then he's going to be out the way of the stream should it happen again.
Not a problem. You move down into that area. It then goes to Loris.
All right. Not too much I can do currently. And I have the party in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dash 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to end it there because Lucas looks pretty capable, and Loris has been given an exercise in humility today about staying closer to the rear.
Not a problem. You do stay close to the rear. I need to make a couple of rolls. There you go. Those are really good rolls. It's like when they stole the weapons earlier, they got a really good roll. Clark beams down upon you, Kittor, and he places a clawed hand on your shoulder, digging into it. Are you ready to talk?
Yes. And then I get the line. There it goes. Yes, this is the thing. They know quite a lot, so much so that if we were captured, they're gonna send like really powerful dudes, like really powerful. In fact, they want you to charge blindly at them. So I would probably just sort of hunker down and wait rather than make the first move, because this is a guy who can tear steel apart with his bare hands. So yeah, really should be careful.
You may make a deception if you wish. It is your action.
Okay. Oh, for God. Out.
His hand squeezes tighter onto your shoulder.
Okay, that was a lie, but let's be real. It's better than what I actually know, which is, as I keep telling you, nothing! I am a mercenary!
We'll see what you know when your friends are dead. He nods to the side, and the 2 goblins to your left form up and take out bows, aiming towards the entrance. Rack is your action.
I'll move ahead a little bit.
It leads around to a bridge overpass from above.
Can I hear anything ahead?
You can make a listen check. That would be your action. But you still have your movement, of course. In fact, the sound of the waterfall is tremendously loud when you get here, and any observations do seem much harder from this point onwards.
I'll just stick there then.
Not a problem. Lucas, it is your action.
Hearing nothing from Rack of any troubles, I will move forward and up ahead.
Alright. You head past
See that
Rack,
bridge.
and you can see the bridge over troubled waters.
Do I see the dead goblin at the other side?
Yeah, it looked like they were partially removing it. Kittor, you know they kicked it, because it was very demanding. But alas, it demands nothing since it is dead.
I'll move here. As my action, I would like to do a quick investigation to make sure they haven't booby-tracked or rigged this bridge in any way. Or
Not a
to be fair,
problem.
if it'll even take our weight as opposed to the smaller goblins.
You make your investigation check on the bridge. The bridge itself seems of impressive construction given the building materials. A lot of it just being driftwood. It seems reasonably stable, like it was built to withstand a large amount of force for whatever reason, but it does not appear to be trapped by any means.
The bridge is safe if we want to push up. I can't see anyone yet. I whisper back to Rack, pass it on.
I'll tell the others.
Alright. Ark, it is your action.
I'll continue moving up behind, just protecting the rear.
Alright, checking your 6 as you go. Ark moves up to join the rest of the party. Is there anything else you want to do when you get there?
I'm just going to try and stay aware as possible and I guess hold my attack in case any goblins pop up behind us.
Okay, your attack action has been held in case a goblin comes up to attack you. Loris, what would you like to do?
I like this party order. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sort of gather up on Rack, and there is. You know what? Why not? If I see a goblin come into my line of sight, I will prepare to firebolt it.
Alright, you prepare your firebolt ready to attack should a goblin appear in your direct visual. Back around to the goblins. You can see Karg make a nod towards Ymik, who excitedly pulls out your own weapon towards the human's throat. He digs a little deeper than last time, producing a little more blood than before, which is funny because the humans seemed like they were about to partake or depart some information before the goblin excitably blocked their throat. Are you ready to talk? Tell me, and I will spare their lives.
Again, I know nothing, but it looks like he's about to say something. Who knows what fascinating things he can say, so just, I don't know, let him talk, maybe put the knife away for 5 seconds? I mean, it's not like I can do anything! You've tied my wrists!
There is nothing you can do. Alright, Kitor, it's your action. Would you like to do anything?
So, okay, so just double check, are my legs bounded anyway?
Your legs are not bound, they've sort of knelt you down by the fire. Your arms are tied behind your back. Not
Okay, so when you say they've knelt me down, is he still holding down on my shoulder at this point?
No one is actually currently holding down on your presence, because Ymik moved around when they were scared by Ripper, the wolf, to move around to Sildar, and the other 2 goblins moved around to prepare their bows. Clark feels very authoritative in their presence that they don't need to directly hold you down.
I see. Right, okay. Alright. What I'm going to do then is I'm just going to go, well, okay, there's one thing I can say, you might have made a slight mistake in your plans. I can do something.
You're going to disengage?
And I am going to shift, and I am going to try and slam into this guy just to sort of knock him away and maybe drop up the knife, because I can't make it a stealth grab for it, so it's just... I'm not sure, it would probably be an unarmed strike.
You can make an attack roll. You do have proficiency with unarmed strikes. Everyone does, actually, which is cool.
Oh yeah, with claws, that's right.
Yep.
Yes, okay, so go with a claw. Actually, no, wait, I can't do that because I'm...
No, an unarmed,
so
any unarmed attack,
unarmed strike.
anyone has proficiency with. I
Oh,
won't
okay.
count this as an improvised attack, because technically you're doing a shoulder tackle.
Oh, okay, so I'll just use the claws for simplicity, but maybe I'll do the damage to the sea.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Because that's a
So-
natural 20, I will let you use your claw damage, because I think it will be amazing if you essentially Goldberg spear Ymik.
Okay, so yeah, that's 4, it looks like.
Alright. As you tell him...
How'd you get a 0 on a d4?
Because I have -1 strength and the other dice rolled 1.
Fair enough.
As you get up, you tell Clark he's made a mistake, and you bear down your head, and you charge towards Yimik with your shoulder headed towards his chest. As you break into him, he lets go of his dagger and squeals as you thrust him into the air. Just behind him, with the stolen provisions, lay a ill-placed table.
Oh god!
And you spear him through the table.
Oh, the Goblins champion through that table!
Just under his
Echoing
breath.
down the caverns is a lowly, by God!
Just
Okay, back
under
down.
his breath, but kind of still defeated, Sildar says, knocked his damn boots off. That is your action, Kit Tor. It was a great action.
I'll just tie this up. By saying, yeah, that's a very hostile situations. People get desperate now.
And a desperate move it was. Rack, you hear commotion and clanging from ahead, even through the sound of the waterfall. It is your action.
Head on towards the noise.
Not a problem. It is directly ahead of you.
Oh my god, you killed him! My god, he's broken in half!
And I'll dash at that point.
Not a problem. That gets you the rest of your movement. Alright, Rack. Unfortunately, as you get to that location, 2 goblins had prepared actions. And you did not see them, because they stealthed, so they will be at advantage. But a short bow attack comes in at 13,
Yep, that's a hit.
and at 17. Do you say the 13 was a hit?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh God. It's happening again.
4 points of piercing damage and a further 7 points of piercing damage, as partially in the water of the now drained pools, the goblins were in the water with a bow's head back, waiting for someone to get there. You take the full brunt of 2 black feathered arrows as you come around the corner.
I found them! And then falls unconscious.
Not a
Careful,
problem.
there's 2 of them up ahead.
You've still got your ability, right?
It's once per rest.
Once per rest? Oh my goodness. Yeah, with that, Lucas, it's your action.
So, seeing the righteous and valiant Rack fall, I will move forward. My full movement.
Go for it.
See those 2 foul creatures. Do I see them?
Yes, you do. They reveal themselves on the attack. The strength
Beautiful.
of the grave did not bring back Rack from that.
I will use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Rack.
You sit beside him, ready for the attack, keeping your eye on the goblins, and utter some soothing words to Rack with your bonus action as you do so. This immediately brings you back to consciousness, Rack.
Get up, man. You're gonna miss my awesomeness.
I was just resting my eyes.
As my action, I'll fling a throwing knife at one of them.
Go for it. In fairness, they both got over 20 on those stealth rolls.
Yeah, that was no way we were seeing that.
That is a hit. The dagger finds its mark straight between the eyes of the goblin.
I'll
Hits
hit that
them. And they stagger back, almost falling into the water, which partially stains red, but they're still standing.
2 enemies up ahead, in the water to our left.
Letting them know, it goes around to Ark, who is on goblin disposal mode.
Ark will proceed to the to that bridge there.
Not a problem.
Is he able to see that goblin there?
Funnily enough, now they're revealed, you do have a line of sight 50 foot to your left.
In that case, he will ready his cannon and take aim.
Alright, go for it. It functions like a longbow. However, it is newly upgraded and the software has not been patched at this point. So you begin to fire, but an unexpected error occurs. I'm counting you as having a sack of 20 bullets on your person. That's 1 down, they're non-recoverable, you have 19 left. They're easy to get, they're essentially musket balls, so they're very easy to acquire.
Fair enough, I'll make a note of that one.
Anything else you want to do?
No, I don't think I've got any other options. I mean, can I carry on? No, I can't. Okay, no, that'll be it.
Loris, it's your action.
Okay, if he had a line of sight, then I should have a line
Yeah, from the bridge you
sight.
can definitely see that goblin on the left.
Alrighty, that goblin over there is getting a firebolt.
You've got the high ground. They can't win.
It's over.
Don't underestimate their
90.
power.
You may make your damage roll. As the firebolt comes in,
3 points.
it's enough as they were previously hit by a dagger. The firebolt hits into them. The burning only subsides as the smeltering corpse falls into the water below. Anything else you want to
With
do?
that, 2, 3. I'll go up and just for the sake of record keeping, say to the others. 1 down. If there were 2, that's 1 left.
Alright, you actually hear this, Kittor, from your location. The other goblin is going to fire its short bow towards Lucas on a 14. I imagine that's a miss, Lucas.
Sorry, press to talk, that does miss.
Alright. Clark signals to the 2 goblins at the head of the lair. You can technically make you can't quite make an attack of opportunity, Kit, because your arms are bound and your tail is technically not a weapon. So the goblins will move ahead of you with their bows drawn, blocking the entrance.
Could I technically do another shot on a barge, or is that not doable in this
No,
situation?
technically it's not a weapon. So
Fair.
I was kind of being a bit liberal because it was just really cool.
Fair enough.
As it stands, you can see the wolf start to gnash its teeth and step closer to its master, who looks down at you and bears that weapon that was clearly stolen right down next to your face. Last chance.
Well, again, as I told you, I know nothing, and since you don't get that yet, this is why I've been forced to do this. So,
Alright, he attacks the human with his Morning Star. Wow, he misses him. Bangs the Morning Star straight into the ground next to the human. It cracks the earth as he does so. Next time, it's his head. It's your action, Kittor.
okay.
Tell them to stand down.
Okay, just for reference, the guy over, the dead guy has my dagger, right?
Yes, it's by your feet, essentially.
Okay, this is probably going to be a disadvantage, but I would like to bend down and try and use it to cut my ropes. Would that be possible,
You can
or-
attempt to do it. Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay. Let's see. I mean, I wouldn't be trying to stealth this. I would just be doing it like how.
Yeah, it's still a dexterity-based check, so it works out the same.
And actually looking at it, the modifier's the same either way, you're right.
Exactly.
So, let's do it.
Alright. With Clark directly in front of you, you scoop up the dagger with your tail and effortlessly cut the bonds that are keeping you bound. Anything else you would like to do?
Presuming this is my action, I am just going to use my tail to drop the dagger, and it in front, and just go. And do that again, and next time it will be your eye.
Rack is your action.
Still one goblin up, isn't there?
Yes, on the other side, in the second drained pool.
I'll just firebolt him for now.
Go for it. I'm a class of 15. That is a hit. Alright, the fire catches him. It's partially blocked by the rock in front of him, which he was using for cover. But he is still hit by the burn.
And then I'm going to move up here.
Go for it. Alright, that is you. Lucas, it's your action.
So, when the two below moved forward, obviously I can't see them due to line of sight. The one in the pool there, did he look in that direction?
He did not. Unfortunately, he has enemies directly in front of him. He's peering at them.
Completely fine. I will step forward to make room for everybody else to come through, and I will chuck my last dagger at that guy.
Go for it. The dagger comes in, but just as it does, you feel a arrow strike come from a short bow directly above you on a 12. It misses you, but it's enough to throw your attack. One of them had a line of sight from you from the top of the stone steps as you came through and had an action. Spare. Anything else you want to do, Lucas?
Yep, as I do that, I'll sort of sway backwards, dodge the bullet. Whoa, one more to our above us. I'll turn back towards Loris. That was a nice spell a minute ago. You'll go far in this one. I gotta give him a bardic inspiration dice.
So you do. Ark, it's your action.
I shall move up behind Lucas.
Step
And
forward as you do.
Is that goblin in my line of sight?
I believe so. It will have cover.
What about the other one?
The other one is not in your line of sight, unfortunately. Oh, sorry. You mean the one to your left, right? That is completely in your line of sight.
Okay. Then I shall attempt to get that one too.
Go for it.
Oh, holy crap.
Alright, you're working out the kinks of this new weapon. It's firing, but it's not firing in a planned trajectory, unfortunately. And your attack partially blasts the rock face into pieces, which does step the goblin back, but it doesn't destroy them as intended.
Sensitivity's too high.
Targeting sensors must be recalibrated.
I can't. I will never be over that voice. It's so cool.
You now realise that turning up to 11 was probably too high. Loris, it's your action.
Okay, feeling the mighty inspiration of Lucas's inspiration. I shall move up 1, 2, 3. I'm technically in cover there. Can I see this goblin?
You can see the one on your left, yes. The one on your right is non-visible from your location.
Okay. In that case, I was there. 1, 2. Just so I know, we're using the rule that I can walk through friendly spaces, right?
Indeed, you can. Yes.
Okay. In that case, I would like to end up here, and if I take an attack of opportunity, I will take that.
That's fine. You're not within 5 foot of anybody.
Okay. Yeah. Just in case someone else prepared to shoot someone. And I'm going to, same as before, firebolt on that goblin.
And so you do. Firebolt is prepared.
20.
That is definitely hit. Do your damage.
9. Holy shit. Okay.
Alright, you let loose your firebolt and partially explode the goblin. The top part of their body erupts into flames and what remains sinks into the building water below, which actually seeps into a reddish mixture of blood and water. And would you believe,
Excellent.
blood is thicker than water?
Alright, so... yeah. That's me.
Alright, it then goes to the goblins. One of them steps out and brandishes a scimitar. The other moves across. And I believe its only viable target is yourself, Loris. Unfortunately, you're going to get a short bow from the one on the steps. At a 16. And a scimitar for the one that steps down. And a 23.
Oof.
Okay. I haven't had my quarterstaff drawn, but I would have my shield, so the first one misses.
Not a problem.
And there's absolutely nothing I can do about that 23.
You bring up your shield just in time to prevent the bulk of the blow, as you receive 3 slashing damage. For yourself, Kit Tor, Clark isn't playing around anymore, and they come in with their Morning Star right down towards your face. But you step back in dexterous ease, and it cracks the ground once more. Ripper! Get him! The wolf comes around to assault you. Alright, and it unfortunately does have pack tactics for the bite.
So advantage.
17 or a natural 1, so good job it had.
Let me just double check what my AC is. 15, so yeah, it hits.
Nice. Well, you're fortunate they didn't do this the other way around, because it had a chance to knock you prone. So you take 7 points of piercing damage, which I believe...
And I'm down again!
regardless of knocking you prone, knocks you to the ground. You can hear a scream from ahead as Kit Tor is knocked out. Kit Tor, life or death saving throw!
Okay.
Nat 20.
Oh,
Close.
Close!
Wow.
Alright, that is a life roll. Rack, it is your action.
I'll move up a bit.
Indeed.
Just to confirm, we heard that, like,
You definitely heard it, yeah.
feline squeal.
It's like you stepped on a cat's tail.
Heard none of the badass lines before that, just the pitiful squeal at the end.
I know, right? In Lucas's eyes, he's like, oh, look at him, just lying there.
typical cat just laying down.
He's got 9 lives, he'll be fine.
I'm going to attempt the wolf and the boss with the acid splash.
Not a problem. You just about have a visual. The steps aren't that steep and inclined that you can do that. That is dexterity, correct?
Yes.
No, I think it's actually for both targets. So I'm going to do it for both targets. So for the bugbear, they fail. And for the wolf, they also fail. Alright, the acid comes in and arcs over the goblin ahead of it, who ducks down with a grin on his face. He then sees it deposited on his boss and its pet behind him, and a look of worry etches the goblin's face as it realizes that was partially its own fault. The wolf howls in pain, and the beast growls. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's my turn.
Okay, Lucas, it's your action.
So, in my long life as a dragon, how many death cries have I heard? Will I know that that was a very bad sound?
It was a very sudden squeal.
Got you.
The target makes no sound afterwards.
Yeah, unfortunately, both my charges are directly in front of me. So I think, not knowing that there's more ahead of the situation, he will just draw his rapier. Are you doing flanking rules for advantage or not?
I am not doing flanking rules, no.
Easy to know. Good, thank you. I will step round to there and see the next goblin and sigh a little bit. Quickly look at Rack's hands just to count his fingers for later duration. And I will go out with a rapier attack.
Go for it. Armor class of 15. As the rapier comes down, it finds its mark on the goblin. You may do your damage. As you stab into them, it goes through part of their arm and almost meets Loris on the other side. The goblin, however, is still there, but has a new hole.
Looking at both my charges and how injured they are, I will take the rest of my movement to move here and just sort of put myself between this other goblin and them. From here, do I see the fallen tabaxi?
You do. They are on the ground just across from the fire. There's also a very injured human as well.
Does that human look familiar to me?
They fit the description for Sildar Hallwinter, who was the support for Gundren Rockseeker.
I'm gonna run out of spells. I'm gonna use my bonus action to healing word the tabaxi.
Not a problem. From your location, you utter sweet words of encouragement that bring Kit Tor back to standing.
Thank you.
Enter Lucas, stage right. You're welcome.
Ark, it is your action.
I'll move up to that goblin because I'm not going to be able to get past him and just make a melee attack.
Go for it.
Finally.
There
All
we
right.
go.
This is a proven commodity and not an experimental attack, and it does find its mark. You may do your damage, and you essentially slice the goblin in twain as you do so, bringing down in a robotic motion.
Aside.
And step aside they do into both sides as they drop down. Anything else
And
you want to
then
do?
I guess I'm not going to be able to move past.
Unfortunately, a
the
hostile
goblin
is
and
blocking.
Lucas. In that case, I'll just move behind Lucas.
Alright, Loris, it's your action.
All right. Okay, we've got quite a bottleneck going here. If I move here, can I get a line of sight on the boss?
Just about, yes. You can see essentially the top of the head.
Perfect. I would like him to
Actually,
make me
apologies. From your location, you are blocked by the side of the cave wall.
Okay, so can I basically do a hit and run spell as I move past the cave opening and see the huge goblin?
If you were pretty much where, funnily enough, where Rack is, you would have a good chance. If you stepped back, I believe you could see the bugbear, just about.
Okay. Yeah, just there. And it's not an attack spell, so cover doesn't matter. I would like him to roll me a dexterity save.
Alright, dexterity save for the
Yes.
creature, which is at a +2, so 14.
Man, just misses. That was going to be a catapult spell.
Okay, you cast your spell. Unfortunately, it does get caught up in the wall that was blocking your sight.
Yeah,
It's-
basically I was going to throw burning embers from the campfire in his face.
Unfortunately, those embers sizzle on the wall beside the goblin, who's looking increasingly distressed. Anything else you want to do?
I think that's me.
Alright, the goblin only has one course of attack, which is to attack the thing directly in front of it. That is a 23.
Ooh.
So, Lucas, you're going to take 6 points of slashing damage, but it was your direction to stand in front and soak the damage. Okay. You've just been revived, Kit. Unfortunately for you, it does mean another round of attacks from the wolf, which time comes in with a 20.
Oh god, that hits again.
For the bite for 6 piercing
And that
damage,
takes me out again.
brings you down to your feet. The bugbear looms over your corpse, grabs your clothing and pulls you up, bringing back the morning star with the erroneous symbol upon it, looking towards Lucas. Cease, or he dies.
Say the same for you.
Alright, he does nothing this round. Kittor, you have a life or death. He was looking for you to call his bluff.
Oh god damn it.
And that is a death roll, unfortunately. And then moves over to Rack.
I'm gonna look at the others and... We're not surrendered. No. No. No.
No, kill the one in front of me, please.
I guess I'll firebolt it.
Alright, fortunately it's above you, so you do not... It does not have any cover from its location. Because you have an easy angle for it. That is a hit. Alright, you hit it with a firebolt and it partially blows it back, but it's just about hanging on.
Ooh, is it one?
Anything else you want to do?
No, there's nowhere for me to go.
Okay, Lucas, you are up.
I'm gonna, as I stab or attempt to stab this guy with a rapier, I will speak back to Rack. Do you still have a beam spare? I didn't see how many there were.
There's one left.
Alright, your attack comes in. It was on 1 hit point, so you don't need to roll that damage as you effortlessly
But I want.
carve down the goblin, whilst you look back, speaking to Rack as you do so, slicing it down with ease. Anything else you want
Step
to do?
over the carcass.
And you step over the corpse and into the lair.
Hello, doggy. The escort tied.
They are bound, also badly beaten. They look like pretty much anything could bring them down.
I will deliver the finishing blow to Kit Tor, just put him out of his misery. I will use my last word.
Alright,
That's better.
encouraging, healing words for Kit Tor once again. It ain't over till it's over!
Please stay up this time.
Kill that wolf, then we'll talk.
Alright, Ark, it is your action.
Oh, let's move in behind what's his face and see if we can dispatch him.
Alright, go for your attack.
Oh my days.
Alright,
Wow.
there's gonna be some troubleshooting for this program, because it just crashed. As you go in for your attack, your blade gets partially stuck on the ground as you go to sweep it upwards for your strike. That will be the end of your turn with a natural 1. Loris, you're up.
Beginning troubleshooting. Recommended steps. Dry out.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I'm going to move up here and just box this, and just commence boxing in this little area. And I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to make a quarterstaff attack on the bugbear with green flame blade.
Okay, go for it. As the green flame starts to emerge from your quarterstaff. Oh my goodness.
We are the worst party I have ever seen in my life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, level 1.
Your quarterstaff comes in, but is in fact blocked as the end of it catches the greatsword that Ark accidentally put into place, and it's jammed on there, partially indebted into the wood. That's going to be you, unfortunately. It's going to move around to them. With that, there are multiple targets. So Ripper is going to go for Loris, who's directly next to it, with the bite. It's going to get pack tactics on that as a 15.
That would be 2 whiffs.
Okay, well it's one. It's one attack with advantage.
Okay, just saying either one would miss.
Clark, quite intimidated by the big metal man that's come next to him, is suddenly a little more relieved when 2 attacks come in with very poor efforts. Once again takes that Morning Star to Kit Tor. But with the surrounding enemies, they're unable to get a full swing from their weapon, and you easily duck it. After that, Kit, it is your action.
Alrighty. Kit's go to quickly spread the I go around and just go how should we do this? Oh, I'll take your method. And I'm gonna stab that wolf that's killed me twice.
Just go for it. Natural 1. Natural 1.
Oh god,
Alright, that's much better.
Oh, there we go.
And I am going to add a d6 for sneak attack because it is technically engaging Loras, so thank you for that. So that's 5 plus.
You do not need to roll the sneak dice because it's down anyway.
Nice.
As I pull it out, I go, cease, or all of your friends will die, if you have any left.
Alright, revenge is a wolfskin rug as you dig your blade into Ripper, and suddenly Clark is all alone. And what was formerly a commanding presence, you can see fear in their eyes. Rack, it's your action.
I'm gonna go up the steps
Head into battle.
and just firebolt him.
Alright. This is a DC 16 armor class. And that's a 17. Alright, the fire blasts them towards their eyes and they reel back. Urgh! Still standing, however. Anything else you want to do?
Nah, that's my turn.
Lucas, it's your action.
I will step up to where the wolf was. I'll lean in. Now, I think it's in everyone's best interest if you cease these hostilities and we can discuss the divulging of information, no? And I'd like to intimidate him.
Alright.
Oh boy.
Nice.
That is a natural 20, unfortunately. Even with a -1.
Oh god damn, I misread it. I thought he got intimidation. Oh damn it. Oh well.
Alright. Your words are wise, but the creature is enraged. No! This is my lair! My lair! You will die.
It's your turn. I will look to Kit Tor. You did good to survive, kid. Here's looking at you, and I'll give him a inspiration.
Alright, here's looking at you, Kit. Ark, it's your action.
I see what you two did.
How badly injured is this guy?
He's taken a couple of knocks, but it's still a very intimidating figure, especially compared to the goblins that were around it.
Okay, I'll take another swing at him then.
Alright. Closed the program and relaunched it.
What is with 11? Oh my...
But the same error seems to occur. Potentially another reboot might be necessary. With that, it is a miss. Loris, it is your action.
Okay, so unless this is another natural 1, I'm just going to... There's no point in green flame blading this guy this time. Yeah, I'm just going to quarterstaff him.
Alright, go for it.
That's better.
That is a hit.
3 points of bludgeoning damage. Woohoo.
Alright, your quarterstaff hits them right on the mark on the top of the head. They recoil, but they're still fighting back. Surrounded... So, what's that?
Just I'm getting a very Shaun of the Dead Porcu scene image happening here.
Surrounded by opponents, they swing wildly with a hatred towards Kit Tor. Coming in with that Morning Star. Again, a terrible roll. It's at this point where the human seemingly has managed to slip out of their bounds and grabbed a longsword from the weapons nearby. They also go for an attack. Wow, I did not expect that. For 6 points of slashing damage as they stab into their unsuspecting target. No! No! Kit Tor, it's your action.
Yes, and I'm gonna slash him.
Okay, go for it.
This won't be sneak attack because he keeps going after me for some weird reason. Oh, well, it's my bad. Should be the dagger.
I think you still get sneak attack because
You would still get sneak,
there's an
yeah.
enemy next to him.
Yeah.
So that's double everything.
That is a natural 20. You do get sneak attack because there is an ally within 5 foot. So
Okay, fair enough.
you may do your damage
why.
double all of the dice,
And
which is going to be a lot of dice.
okay, so that is 11 overall.
Alright.
You get another sneak die.
Yeah, you double all the dice.
Do I?
Yeah, all of your
Yeah.
dice.
Okay, so that is 17 overall.
Alright, Kit Tor. How would you like to finish off Clark?
I'm pretty much, as I was sort of saying, yes. I am just going to essentially animate the style, just do one furious stab to the chest, pull it out, spin the dagger around, and then just go into like one of those like those anime video style where you're just like slashing over and over again.
Swordmaster crit! Swordmaster
Yeah.
crit!
Alright, as the combat becomes even more fierce, Clark's options become less and less, and finally, Kit Tor, you make a thrust towards their chest, and the blood bleeds out thick and plenty. You then make a second strike, and a third, in what appears to be lightning-fast motions across, down, and left, until you're almost a blur of strikes. Eventually, when it subsides, you see the body start to light up with cuts all across it, which slowly start to bleed. Clark stumbles backwards. No! And falls into the smouldering fire next to him and slowly starts to burn away.
Oh, that was
the last bit I
satisfying.
do is just sort of spin the dagger around, Steven, and then go, I told him I knew nothing.
I'd say you knew enough.
Ark will move over to him and just
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
and scoop him up.
I raise an eyebrow, then just sort of cheerfully act like nothing happened and just sort of turn to the other. I was going, Well, I'm glad you're all still alive. Sorry for running away from you, Rock, and... Okay, handsome fellow I've never met before. Hello, my name's Kit.
Hello. It's Sildor. Sildor Hallwinter.
I think he was talking to me. He said handsome.
You look pretty good too, although kind of beaten up. Also, again, sorry for the whole running thing. It's just, difficult situation and everything.
Yes. I don't know why you're here, but thank you.
Do I recognize Sildar Hallwinter?
You recognize them as, by name, as someone who was assigned to guard the Rockseeker.
Okay. I would like to step up then and say, well, it's not all of us, but some of us at least were here for you, as it happens. We were sent to locate your caravan. Are you all that remains?
I'm afraid so. We were attacked by the goblins. It felt prepared. The three Rockseeker brothers, Gundren, who I travelled with, Braden and Nundro, recently located the entrance to the long-lost Wave Echo Cave, the site of the mines of Phandelver. Gundren had a map showing the secret location of Wave Echo Cave, but when we were captured, a drow girl, Veleth I think her name was, took it. I heard they'll take the map and the dwarf, the chief of these Cragmaws, at a place called Cragmaw Castle. But I don't know where that might be. But I know someone in Phandalin who might know. My contact in Phandalin is a human named Iono Albuk. He's a wizard, and that name strikes to you, Lucas, because that person has gone missing.
Ah, that's fortuitous.
The wizard travelled to town 2 months ago to establish order there. After the Lord's Alliance received no word, we decided to investigate.
They're missing.
This is very troublesome. My friends, we must get out of here, Well, I could say I could do with a good bed, but we must get this information to the Lord's Alliance.
Also, the weapons, because good news is we delivered them. They're probably somewhere in the pile over there, but they're kind of delivered.
Quite, and directly by the smouldering remains of Clark lies that weapon, the symbol on it being a lightning bolt clenched by a fist, the same symbol which is in fact on Loris's gear, which was gifted to him by the Lord's Alliance. All of these weapons were intended to supply troops headed to Greenrest, and in particular the group of Lucas Eddock and Karen, among others.
Well, regardless of the ins and outs, I'm with our friend here. Best to get going before someone else comes to find this place.
Quite right, I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm at.
Fair enough.
Are you wanting to take a short rest? You're not looking great, all of you.
It would be worthwhile at this point, I think.
We wouldn't get any benefit from a short rest. We did.
Have
one
you already
last
spent hit dice, yeah?
Yeah, we've only got one hit dice and we spent it.
Well,
Right.
as the group hurries to safety,
Can I check these goblins out before we leave if there's anything on them?
you can indeed.
Like the ones in the pool and this
The
one
goblins
here.
themselves had no valuable remains, each had a scimitar and a short bow.
And so Kit just grabbed the rest of his weapons because he already had the dagger back. And I will also say that he just tries to complete his duty by carrying some of the weapons that he can on him, but not very much because he's not that strong.
Okay, in the wreckage of the table, Yumek carried a pouch containing 3 gold teeth, which are worth 1 gold piece each, and Silda's gear, what remained of it. Anything else was taken to Cragmaw Castle. The captured stores are bulky. You will need a wagon, which you do have, assuming it's still there, outside on the Treeball Trail. You will also have your reward of 50 gold pieces agreed upon, should you make it to the Miners' Exchange. There is also, you can make me a perception or investigation.
Okay.
I would also like to investigate. I am definitely taking that Morning Star, though, because that needs to go to its rightful place.
Indeed.
I'll just do a standard perception, because it's a high mod.
Wow.
Of course it's a nat one. Why wouldn't it be a nat one?
Those natural ones, though. Well, despite everything, Loris is being particularly perceptive. Maybe it's the dutiful need to bring the provisions to their rightful owners, but something is not from among your wagon load. Clark has a treasure chest, which was hidden away, partially in the junk that would be taken down to the kennel. In the chest contains 600 copper pieces, 110 silver pieces, which you might be a little more excited about, 2 potions of healing, and a jade statuette of a frog with a tiny golden orbs for eyes. You can appraise the statue. It appears to be worth around about 14 gold pieces and would be small enough to fit inside a pocket or a pouch.
Cool.
600 copper, 110 silver, and 2 healing potions. Got it.
As this is happening, can I ritual cast Detect Magic?
You can indeed. Alas, when it is completed, you don't detect anything of magical except the 2 potions of healing.
Yeah.
The magical bean does show up with the same restoration magic.
Perfect. Well,
Why
if
not?
everyone's done, shall we?
I'll do the dwarfy thing and just kind of appraise the statue on the way out.
Yeah, you do come to the conclusion that it is worth around about 40 gold pieces. You would certainly get less for selling it depending where you sold it to, and if they knew the value themselves. With that, you do prepare to make your way past the Treeball Trail this time, hopefully unaccosted, and on your way to Phandelver, which is where the action will continue after we take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, we will be right back. Welcome back to the Lost Mine. The group make their way to Phandalin to enter the Miners' Exchange. The rutted track emerges from a wooded hillside, and you catch your first glimpse of Phandalin. The town consists of 40 or 50 simple log buildings, some built on old fieldstone foundations, More old ruins, crumbling stone walls covered in ivy and briars surround newer houses and shops, showing how this must have been a much larger town in centuries past. Most of the newer buildings are set on the sides of a cart track, which widens into a muddy main street of sorts as it climbs towards a ruined manor house on a hillside at the east side of town. As you approach, you see children playing on the town green, and townfolk tending to chores or running errands at shops. Many people look at you as you approach. You're quite a motley crew, but all return to their business as you go by, as many adventurers tread this way. You swiftly venture to the Miners' Exchange, where upon arrival you see a halfling woman being berated by a red-robed wizard. "It's useless! Defective, I say! I demand a refund!" He slams a wand upon the counter, and it sparks loudly. The woman examines it carefully as the mage becomes more exasperated by the second. "Mr. Mondar, I think you'll find the item works exactly as advertised," she tells him. "You were not misinformed. This is a small town, and magic items are very rare." "Damn this!" proclaims the wizard. "I know your game, and I shall not be had. Come along, Riki." The woman looks at the creature as they depart. "Yes, Riki. Fly, fly," she says quietly to it. The creature cocks its head to the side. "Yes, Riki. Fly, fly," it repeats back exactly, and hurries after its master. You have entered the Miners' Exchange, where you would take your wagon load of weapons to the front desk to exchange for your reward.
My eyes deceive me. I'll head over.
Well, hello there, stranger.
What are you doing in such a backwater town?
Things that need to be done. Wares that need to be sold. There's always a pretty penny to be made, at which, well, I'll be. I didn't think there'd be here. Do you have the goods? He looks past you to Kit Tor and Ark.
Yeah, it took longer than expected. Some goblins were really interested in the party, but this is what we got. I take one of the boxes out to sort of show the weapons and go, "The rest are in the wagon outside."
Not a problem. The reward will be 10 gold pieces or 50 if you recover the stolen goods.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. I could give you 50 gold pieces. Or, and this is very exciting, I have some incredibly rare and ancient magical items at my disposal, she says as she slides across a pouch of coinage towards Lucas, giving him a wink.
I'll scoop that up.
First of all, we have this, and she produces a dark ring with a finely polished red gemstone in the front of it, quite large and oversized. I call it the Ancient Ring of Fire. And these, she pulls out an almost slimy looking pair of boots that seem a little weathered but almost shimmer in the light. Boots of water walking. If you command word aqua, it will allow you to walk on water. And of course, return to me the wand of mighty sparks. Any mage would be naked without it. And a special item she produces from under the desk. The magic bag of beans. They're no ordinary beans. So you could take your reward of 50 gold pieces, or I could give each of you one of these amazing items.
Okay, I'm doing this purely for the sake of comedy because I have the wisdom of a potato, but can I insight check?
You can indeed.
We'll whistle appreciatively at all that. Did you say magic beans? Didn't we find some of those before?
You did? That's amazing. They are ingenious and rare items. Made by...
Natural 20.
They are amazing and rare items. You know what? I honestly think they might be too good for you. And she starts to take them back. Loris, you do get a tiny whiff of BS. And when I say tiny...
I'll say just doing like that mathematics meme in my head. I'll say, as tempting as it is, I believe I'll take I believe I'm inclined to take the gold and make some repairs to my gear. Thank you.
That's an awful shame, and it is your loss. Items like this don't come about every day. What of the rest of you? Will you find items for 3 noble heroes and hard work done?
I'll take the shiny ring.
Ah, I see you have an eye for finities. Rack, claim your reward.
Kit's gonna do a quick insight check because he's tempted by the boots, but he wants to make sure that it would. Is it more of an insight check to see if they would actually be worth more or less the same as the gold? If that makes any sense.
No problem, go for it. Give me what would be an appraisal? Okay, give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Yeah, give me an intelligence roll.
I'm going to walk around the counter here, and as my hands are obscured, I want to sort of lean down and cast Prestigitation to make the boots look more magical.
You head towards them. They seem to almost sparkle as you do so, although they are mighty worn. However, you do get a genuine sense of magic from them.
I suppose if they work, it will prevent any future idleways. Fine. I slip the boots on and go. And I suppose if they didn't work, we did kind of screw up a bit in that mission. So, my bad, I guess.
Well, you had nothing to fear, for the investigators returned as well, and all of you can claim your just rewards. What of you, Metal Man?
I have no need for boots or rings. The gold will suffice, thank you.
My, what a commanding voice. Shakes me to my core. Very well. 50 gold pieces. Fact. Take the Wand of Sparks as well.
I mean, if it's going free, why not?
I'm getting a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy robot kind of vibe.
I mean, I was going to add something like earlier in the cave, but I thought, no, I'll say that for later.
Fair enough.
Alright, so for yourself, Kit Tor, you have the boots of water walking. You're told if you put them on and say the command word Aqua, you will walk on water.
Okay.
Ark, you have a wand. It seems to almost sparkle as you move it around. Kind of like a sparkler.
I mean, Ark has literally 0 magical ability or affinity at all, so I'm not sure how he's going to work this, but I'm sure he can do something with it.
The ring also glistens in your possession, Rack.
Channel power surge.
Do I sense any actual magic coming from it?
You can make an Arcana check. Despite the roll, you do sense genuine magic from it. It's definitely shiny. As you depart to head up to the meeting room upstairs, she does stop you in your tracks. I do wonder, however, if you could help. And there'll be more gold in it for you. The Red Band Ruffians are a group of bandits that have become more dangerous than ever as of late. They attack on the open roads freely and even stand up folk inside of town. They are more aggressive and have become known to run adventurers out of town or worse. I think it's only a matter of time before they will confront you. They've been bad for my business and I want rid of them. I believe they hide out in the old Tressendor Manor on the edge of town. You'd really be doing yourselves and the town a favour if you took care of them. But if it is monetary value offer, 100 gold pieces to clear them out. My spies, I mean, my friends, tell me their leader is known as Glassstaff.
Another day and a coin. Nice. I accept. I accept. And hey, any good deeds worth doing as far as I'm concerned?
Indeed. I'm told Glassstaff is a wizard. So be wary of wizards.
Well, it will make a change from being bitten constantly. I turn to the others and go, you guys want to come with? I mean, I know we barely met, but you seem like good people to help.
Certainly it seems this man is a wizard of ill repute, but before anything, I would...
Oh, yeah, right, meeting. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot we were doing something about...
Indeed, I believe they're expecting you.
Shoot.
I myself have other things to attend to, but if you need anything, I'm not hard to find.
Always a pleasure.
Indeed. Keep an eye on you.
I unfortunately am hard to find at times.
Just
I'll
as
give it
you...
a...
Winks are exchanged, and just before you head upstairs, another group of adventurers pass you by, making their way down the stairs, leaving the meeting room. You see a wizard dressed in red robes with fine hair, and I would say they look incredibly healthy. And next to them is a half-orc woman who sizes you up immediately. Alongside them is a rather sheepish-looking dwarf next to two other thugs that join them. One is a dwarf and one is a human, both decked in armour. One of them carries a large hammer. The other one has concealed their weapons.
The wizard, how flamboyant?
Rather flamboyant, almost pompous as well. They make eyes with you immediately.
Hi.
Ah, this must be the B team. You guys don't know what you're up against.
Well, if we're the B team, would that mean that we're cleaning up for the A team's mess?
The only mess I see is the mess of adventurers in here, and those that were cleared out of town. I guarantee it. We'll be the ones that clear up this mess. And he begins to brush past you. As he does so, he puts his hand on Rack's shoulder, brushes by him, and immediately, Rack, you can see sparks of flame start to erupt as he actually set you almost alight with a minor spell as he walked past you. Pushes by Loris as well. Immediately, as it does so, you hear fire. Fire detected. There is fire on your person. From behind the counter. Huh, it does work.
Quite the investment.
Before he gets to me, I'm assuming I'm seeing all this. Can I just restrain him?
You can attempt to.
What would that be?
That would be a strength versus their strength.
Oh my god.
Which is not going to be good. They, of course, could use Dex, but they are a wizard. Alright, you stop them dead in their tracks.
I'm not sure what happened there. I clicked 1, but it's rolled like a million. Or 3 at least.
Roll me 1d20 then.
Alright, that used to be +3, but I don't know what happened.
Okay.
So that's +3.
17. Alright, you stop them dead in their tracks and they look up in astonishment. Just as you do so, the very large half-orc woman stands next to him with a giant maul ready.
You appear to have set my colleagues on fire. Remedy this.
Just say sorry, you loser. She smacks him on the back of the head, clearly ruffling his feathers. I suppose I didn't mean it.
It's not his fault he can't control his magic.
He grumbles at this and quick steps out. I'll remember
Thank
this.
you for your cooperation. Next time, be more careful.
The woman chuckles as she leaves, laughing at the wizard. And so do the other 2 lackeys at their side, left just with the dwarf. Drog! Raiden, wait up! Ugh. He pauses for a moment and digs into his pack. Ilaven! And produces a tankard. And slowly drinks from it, despite the reckless nature in which he does quaff down his beverage, not a drop is spilled. Don't mind
take care
them.
not to drink too much.
Don't drink too much? There's no such thing.
Huh.
As he's leaving, I would like to I'd like to call over two things, old boy. One, that was impressive. 2, you do well to find company company of higher class.
You're telling me? Hopefully this will be my last mission with this lot. Good luck to you, and I'll drink to that. And he too leaves.
I doubt we'll ever see him again.
Alright, with that, you head upstairs. The room itself has been laid out partially as a meeting room, but also as a storeroom. Inside, you can see the familiar sight of Stephen Blaze, decked out as they are a cleric of Heronius. Next to them is a half-elf of the Harpers, known as Leosin Earthlancer, who requested the weapon drop. In the corner is an armoured individual with a dented helmet who appears to be human, and what appears to be a red devil grinding a dagger as he does so, who looks at you in a very bemused way. Come to play, he mutters under his breath, and then gets back to grinding his dagger. As you entered, Blaze appeared to be communicating with a woman directly ahead of him. Necromantic texts are forbidden, Corlett, but I understand your motives and your eagerness to learn and prove yourself. I know you stole those restrictor books because you wanted the means and the power to make a difference for good. But you are young and misguided, and though I know your heart is in the right place, I have a way of seeing the good in people. Take Edok here, a man who's fallen so far he barely remembers his own name, and Kaven, but the less said about him, the better. Right. Despite how they might appear sometimes, they are good people. They, and another, have done us a great service in tracking down our enemies in the Caves of Chaos. But alas, not everyone returned from that vile place, and we may need a healer. I'd like you to come with us. I know you've got a lot to prove. This is your chance. I'm looking for good people to travel with me to Greenrest. Ah! Speaking of good people, Lucas! Looks like you brought back our strays.
As asked, please.
Indeed.
Look across to the other two. Have you finished looking your wounds yet, or are you still Still recovering.
You get a sneer from the Red Devil, who continues to sharply blade their weapon. You're not sure what to think from Edok, who still seems to be a bit out of sorts.
Okay, it just starts, but and and then goes, I would say, I would offer services of good people, but we kind of messed up back there. Sorry.
Well,
Heavy resistance was encountered.
indeed.
I'll add to that. Again, not my most dignified day, but thank you for sending someone after us.
Well, we're fortunate in the skills of yourselves and Lucas, who I will be needing for my journey to Green Rest. But for the rest of you, I do have a few tall tasks. I was informed by Sildar the nature of this place, and whilst I do need to take care of some things elsewhere, there is work to be done here if you wish for it. Firstly, I imagine Jamna asked you to take care of the Red Brands. He's asked just about everyone to do so. Well, to me they're just a mercenary guild and not much of a problem, although after questioning several locals we learned that Iono Albuk, a fellow member of the Lord's Alliance, and Sildar's contact here, is missing. We understand he was last seen searching around the Trestor Manor. He may have been captured or eliminated, but regardless of his fate, I can offer a further 200 gold pieces to eliminate the threat. You are given a depiction of Lord Albuk as well to go off. Another threat that concerns me is the rising of more militant forces within our realm. And of the matter, I would request that you head east on the Treebor Trail to deal with a band of orcs near Wyron Tor. If you are able, I can offer a further reward of 100 gold pieces if you do so, and would be in your debt. Of course, there is the more pressing matter of finding Cragmaw Castle and the Rockseeker brothers. As an agent of the Lord's Alliance, it is my duty to restore order to this troubled land, and Sildar tells me the missing Rockseeker brothers, Grundon, Freyden, and Nundro, have discovered the entrance to the lost mine of Wave Echo Cave. Now, if this is true, and pray any of them are still alive to tell, and we could get it back into production and bring prosperity to the region, it would be a great worth. The mine itself is the stuff of legend, long lost ago when powerful wizards and mighty forces did battle over the fabled forge of spells inside. Since it could hold unimaginable wealth and unlimited power, we can't let it slip into the hands of evil. We need to continue the pressure on the goblins if we want to recover the Rockseeker brothers. And for that I suggest finding their base at Cragmaw Castle. Cut the head off the snake, so to speak. I'm going to offer a 500 gold piece reward if you can locate Cragmaw Castle and drive off the tribe's chieftain. But, alas, we don't know where it is. It's at this point where the half-elf from the background steps forward, Leosin Oflana. I may be of some assistance if I may. I suggest seeking out Randolph the Druid in the ruins of Thundertree. He's a strange chap, but nobody knows the land better than him. He's an ally of the Harpers, and serves the Emerald Enclave, protecting the land from the darkness that has befallen the once prosperous village since Thundertree was destroyed in a horrific eruption from Mount Horteno. In the wake of the disaster, a dark plague of magic has infested the area, and he keeps a wary eye on the dangers. He is, as I say, an odd fellow and quite elusive. Despite this, he is an ally, but he doesn't directly serve our cause, so you may have to do something for him, but if you can befriend him, I'm sure he'll have the information you need. And, if I may ask it as well, a personal request that you head that way and investigate an area known as the Old Owl Well. I've heard stories from prospectors in the area that someone is digging around the ruins, and more disturbingly, many were chased away by undead. These ruins were an old watchtower of an ancient magical empire known as the Nephiril, and I worry there is dangerous magic dormant there. If you find out who is there, and what they're up to, well, it could be for all our sakes. I can't pay you, but if you accept, I can give you these free potions of healing I have here in advance. You may well need them.
There is a pause, and then it just goes, okay, so I'm just going to say yes to all of those for the record. I don't know about anyone else.
It's like the quest board in Dragon Age Origins. Yes, 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 yes. I'll say, well, if nothing else, I can think of no task more glorious and righteous than wiping out the likes of undead. So count me in on that.
That is good to hear. Stephen speaks up once more. And please, once you're done here, come meet me and my associates in Darkadia. I will be in the Swan Song Inn. You have matters to attend to, but your names may not be known now, but trust me, I feel a darkness descending, and I shall not let this become the time of chaos. It shall be the time of heroes. And speaking of Leosin, my harper friend, I believe you have a special task to take care of. To which he adds, indeed I do have a rather special task ahead of me. But speaking of special, Blaze, I have a student who could be of great assistance to you, but there is something you should know about them. I'll send them to you to explain. I don't want to say they're damaged goods, but well, they've also got a lot to prove. Stephen once again replies, thank you, and Lucas, please join me as well. But until such a time, be over this group. We take our leave soon.
Honestly, it would be bad for a dragon to leave whelps that he hasn't quite nurtured yet.
Indeed. See that they're able, but I do need you with me at Greenrest. I'm afraid I can't say much more right now, but I beg the rest of you to see us there once you're done. We'll be at Darkadia in the Swan Song Inn. But we should know what we're up against then.
Loris just mutters under his breath. Dragon? Why he? Oh, never mind.
You also see Kit in the background, just sort of staring at Lucas, and then just sort of trying to wrap his head around it. Like, but surely they're this big, rather than you're.
I'm just imagining Kit doing the cat thing.
Exactly that. Yes. Okay. I guess with that, Kid spin is back around and goes, well, where to do first, I guess?
Food and sleep.
Those do sound good, yes.
I'm with Rack on this one, but as far as our future prospects go, I suppose there's no harm in checking out the most local of these matters, as it were.
Steve, how long do you reckon I've got before we need to head off?
Ideally, as soon as possible.
Do you think we've got enough time to sleep prior to dealing with this local menace, or?
Certainly. Indeed, a good rest would be in order before departing. But I know you're able, Lucas, and I know you're keen. But there are grave matters at work along all the realm.
Sounds exciting.
Alright, and with that, you head back downstairs to the Miners' Exchange. As you head back downstairs, you see Jamna ducked behind the counter as 4 individuals enter. They're all wearing grimy scarlet cloaks. Their sullen stares fix on you as you approach. One of the thugs spits on the ground ahead of you. Well, well, he snarls. Here's a whole pack of little puppies. What do you want, puppies? come to bark at us. Time for you to move on, strangers. Give us your stuff and be on your way. And with that, I would like you to roll your initiatives.
Wow.
Okay, so for initiatives, we have on a natural 20, Kit Tor at 24, Rack on 17, the Red Brand Ruffians at 12, Lucas, who won the opposition roll against Ark, both on 11, and Loris with a terrible roll at the back. Kit Tor is your action. They are immediately aggressive and brandish weapons.
Okay, I am going to... Let's see. I am going to just pull out my short bow and shoot the one directly in front of me.
Not a problem. Also, for the folks at home, they are level 2, but they haven't had a long rest yet to get that advantage. They got the level 2 from completing the Cragmaw Hideout.
14.
14 is the shot towards the Red Band Ruffian, and it is dead on their studded leather armor. You may do your damage.
Okay.
Alright.
As he recalls the damage, I'll also yell, in case you can't tell, I'm not a puppy!
I'll skin you like the cat you are, then. Anything else you want to do?
Let's see. No, I think I'm good. It'll be a while before they can get to me anyway, so I'll just hold here.
Okay, Rack, you are up.
I think I'll just acid splash the two that are together.
Alright, dex save, right?
Yeah, 13, I think.
Okay, the closest one fails miserably, and the edge of the splash also catches the next one. You may do your damage. Alright, the acid lightly burns them as it does so. The one ahead is gravely wounded but still there. The one behind not so much. Anything else?
I'll just move a little bit.
Alright. It then goes to the ruffians, who do make their way forward. One of them does attempt to dart over the counter towards Jamna, going immediately for the goods. They make a dexterity roll. And make it. That would have been embarrassing. And they're over there trying to grab the loot. Most notably, any leftover shiny items. The ruffians do descend towards you. One of them gets right next to you, Lucas. And then the other ones come around. Alright, it is a multi-attack for 2 short sword attacks. So a 15 and a 13, which I believe both bat off your armor, as they're backed off by the next two.
15 does hit.
Does hit, okay. With that, the short sword damage is 4 points of piercing. After which it does come to you for your turn.
So the one in front of me... sorry, is the one right in front of me that's looking really hurt, or the one above him?
The one behind this one here.
Okay. So I'm going to step out the way, because right now I'm blocking things up. I'm going to move up there. And how bad is this guy looking? Is he looking
He
like...
visibly looks pretty bad. Burnt by acid, still got an arrow in him.
Got you. I will go in with a rapier against him, just to try to lessen the numbers.
Go for it. Armor class is 14. Just shy, I'm afraid, as you find yourself overwhelmed as you step into melee. Anything else you want to do?
That strange protocol, I don't know what it is. I really like the way your metal body looks, and I'll give Arca inspiration, not teach her how to compliment or motivate a slab of metal.
Ark, it's your action, as you are motivated.
I shall move into melee range with the one opposite Lucas.
With that command prompt, you do make your way into battle.
Your request for us to surrender our stuff has been denied. Counter proposal, give us your stuff.
That is a hit. The longsword is doing good. Alright, you slash across their chest, partially slitting their red brands, but they are still ready to fight.
Yeah, that'll be all I can do.
Okay, Loris, it's your action.
Okay. Odd question. These are tables full of weapons, right?
Yes,
Okay.
most of which you brought back here.
In that case, can I grab a battle axe as part of my movement?
There is not a battle axe on the table, unfortunately.
That's fine.
They're
In that
hand
case-
axes.
Yeah, in that case, I know what I'm gonna do, and it is a magic missile on this entire cloud right here, so 1 each.
Alright, 1 missile each. They automatically hit as you spread them out. You got back a spell from your short rest arcane recovery, and making use of it.
4 points of damage each.
Okay, you have to roll them individually.
Oh, fair enough.
First missile heads in, almost knocks down the one in front, and it is 4 damage apiece.
He did
As-
call it.
1, 2, and finally 3, the last missile hits the ruffian and sends them down to the ground in a heap. Anything else you want to do?
Let me... There is nothing else I can do. I will just, because I'm shorter, I will take cover behind the tables.
Not a problem. You duck down behind the tables. Kit Tor, it is your action.
Okay. First of all, let me just check. I think I've got enough movement, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
easily.
Okay. I'm just going to rush in and attack this guy, drawing the short sword.
And so you do. That is a hit.
Okay. Would this technically count as a sneak attack, or...
It would be, yes. You have allies within your space.
Yeah, and he
You have
just
an-
got nailed by Arc, so...
Okay, so that's 8 overall.
Alright. Your weapon comes in, and you slice them down to the ground.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, no, it doesn't need a one-liner. The other people can step up now.
Not a problem. With your allies near to you, you make your sneak attack when they least expect it, and drop that red band ruffian. Rack, it is your action.
I'll attempt an intimidation check.
Okay, what are you going to say?
If you don't want to end up like the rest of your friends, you better surrender now.
Alright. Make your roll.
Oh, dear. Nice.
Smashed!
Alright, you seem to have shaken them. They look like they may consider retreat.
It's an action to do that, right?
It is indeed, yeah.
I'll just move a little.
At which point it does come to them. The first red band ruffian does step back, and out of your range, Lucas, you can make an attack opportunity, and so can you, Arc.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's a
He's
hit
dead.
for... That's a hit for yourself, Arc. Indeed, the sword comes down as you backstab him as he starts to turn away from you. Eat further, ruffian attempts to hop back from the desk after having tried to grab some of the goods, but slams his face on the desk as he tries to kind of Starsky and Hutch his way across and ends up on there. Lucas, it's your action.
Oh, dear.
Does he count as prone right now?
He is prone, yes.
Okay. I feel like I've got to do this. I'm going to try to slide across. It was some might say Starsky and Hutch style, and put a rapier in his face.
Go for it.
Do you want an acrobatics check?
It is not required. On your side, you can get past the bags of fruit and vegetables pretty easily to get next to him.
So advantage because he's prone?
It is indeed, he is down. That's a hit.
Nice.
Alright, the blade stabs into him. With that, you pierce him through the table itself. And
God,
your
lots of
area...
table-based trauma.
I know, right? The ruffian is skewered. Their blood seeps through the woodwork and to the floor below. And
I will look across and be like, it must be because of all those incredible magical items that have come here.
It just sort of spins the dagger, puts it in his belt, and he goes, "Really? Because it just seemed like they came here because they were gits."
I'll add to that. Whatever their motives were, typical bandits. All talk, no action.
I mean, these are probably just literally ruffians. The leader's going to be back at the estate, right? Much tougher.
Well,
That'd be the way, I guess.
I suppose that makes our decision for us one way or another.
Alright, the next stop would be, after a rest, if you chose to have it, where you would gain your level up, CRUSADER Manor.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And just so I know, this is going to be kind of a weird question, but I'm willing to take it even if the equipment in question is bad, because I can hopefully use Smith's tools to repair it. But is there anywhere in the village where I can acquire a battle axe or even a fixer upper battle axe that I can work on?
It would certainly be possible. From the Miners' Exchange, Jamna has all sorts of things. Not all of them as bad as it seems.
Cool. I would like to replace my quarterstaff with a battle axe, because I have that training as a mountain dwarf.
No problem, and especially with the events that unfolded directly, Jamna is easily applicable to supply you with a battle axe. Free of charge, which is very unlike her.
Cool. I will add that to my inventory.
I'm going to look over the party. I don't know if I'm needed here anymore. You did that pretty efficiently.
Well, I could say the same. I could say the same for you, my friend. You've been a great deal of help.
Yes, I know. Right. Well, I have missions to do with Blaze, so I think I'll be leaving you bereft of my presence. Do not weep too long. No doubt you'll hear more stories of me in the future.
Maybe we can get Anson time. Get on, must for hire if you ever need me.
Honestly, a dragon like myself is far too skilled to travel within a party of adventurers like yourself. I'm just hoping that my next batch of companions are less inadequate.
I will. I'll respond to that. Normally, I would have a rebuttal at this point, but I don't. You have my thanks.
Well, it's been a pleasure. You obviously know me and my name, so I shall leave you with nothing but admiration of myself. Farewell, and I shall swirl my cloak and exit the building.
And on that flourish, as Lucas gets ready to depart for his own adventure in Greenrest, the rest of our party prepares for their own deed to be done against the Red Band ruffians in CRUSADER Manor. And that's where we're going to leave this session. Thank you for Josh for stepping in for a special guest for this episode of The Lost Mine, and thank you guys for watching. I've been MVL, and we will catch you next time.